Hello and welcome. It's Japan, and we have another exciting Evolve here. Man, this show is just. I don't even know how to explain the excitement I get actually watching this show compared to some of the other WWE projects that they have. It's just like, it feels so fresh and new a lot of the times, and you just feel like you're part of something by watching it from the beginning. I don't know. I just felt like because I've seen every episode and covered every episode and dived down into the roster so much that I feel like it's just something else. Like, I don't know, it's crazy. I don't know if it's just my kind of connection or if other people have felt that way that have been watching it from the beginning. But I really hope we get another just great year of this. I know we're only over 30 episodes. What, we're 33 now, but I can't wait to see more. And we're going to get some new people coming in, so we'll discuss that later too. So be interesting. So we start out the show. It's Sean Legacy and Idris Inoue. Unfortunately, this kind of feud just kind of fizzled out by them being behind in booking and behind in like showing, because Idris Inoue has been out for like a month, being that he's not in WWE. So these matches that he's had with Sean Legacy and this like whole feud in general is just kind of not felt like anything, to be honest. Like, what is the point here? Like, I know they're trying to necessarily like, build up Shawn Legacy, but it really doesn't help out when he's beating somebody who's not even part of the organization anymore. Not their fault. They already had filmed all this and had it all ready, and they weren't going to just throw out a bunch of matches for no reason. So unfortunately, the story in this didn't feel anything, and this match honestly was just a little too like, just, I don't know, it just didn't feel right to me. I did like Sean Legacy's part. I thought Sean Legacy did really good. If I had just rated his performance, I'd probably put it higher, but I think I'm just going to put this in B. I think it's just really middle of the road. It's very mid for the basically, if you think of the story and you get rid of that, like, Idris Inoue is gone, this is just kind of pretty much like Idris Inobe's character was dead anyways after this one, because they really gave him nothing. The match really didn't do him anything, and Sean Legacy is not going to get much out of this other than maybe just hopefully being able to say, like, well, I got a bunch of wins, so I should be able to do something and work on some stuff. So I guess we'll see how it is going forward. These two segments got mixed up, but it was Wendy Chu in therapy, kind of talking about her character and stuff. I like it. I like when they do some kind of creative promos where they just try something a little bit more different than what we've been getting constantly, and I think this one worked out pretty decent. I'll put it up an A. Just like to be able to say that, like, Wendy Chu's still on the roster and she gets some type of screen time. I feel like really helps some characters if they can just get on the screen for a couple minutes. It's kind of like how NXT has like backroom or like backstage segments where you see people in the background, so you like at least know they exist and at least know they're there. So I think it helps. Then we had Chantel Monroe talking about it to Chewy. Honestly, I like Chantel Monroe's character and outside thing, but her backstage segments have just not really been there for me. I feel like it's kind of ruined her character and ruined what they've been doing with her. Like, she was kind of positioned to be in that top 5 of the women's division, and I think that all the segments that they have her back there, she's just kind of just been like, there's not really much else to say about it. So I'll put it in C. They also had Layla Diggs and Mason Holiday talking to Big Jaw, like kind of similar to what they did last week. I didn't really feel like it needed too much of a talking point, and I couldn't really find any images on it because nobody else really cared about it, I guess. There was the same thing with the It's Golf thing. He did the Studometer on everybody. I actually thought that was pretty entertaining to a certain extent. I'd probably put that in like a B. I'm not a big fan of It's Golf's character, but I think it, like, at least I feel like his wrestling is like, above average to have a gimmick that might not be my favorite, at least. Then we had another, we've getting a lot of these tag team like promos that really get this adrenaline drip, and what is his name? Jax Presley and Harley Riggs kind of rivalry. They've had 1v1, like the 2 tag matches, and I think they're 1-1, and so they're gonna have that like rubber match and stuff, which is great for the tag division, so it would be nice. But now that we've gotten like 3 promos from it and no match, I'm kind of like, What are we doing here? We need a little bit more. So I'll put this down and see. The backstage segments, I think, especially in the beginning of the show, just really weren't hitting. I did want to point out they said next week we had Marcus Mathers versus Laredo Kid versus God, now I forgot who the third person was. Oh, Tate Wilder. That's why I forget. I was like, why am I blocking it out? I'm like, that match is going to be good. Tate Wilder should take the pin. It should be Laredo Kid absolutely destroying them. But it is really cool that Laredo Kid's going to be down on this. And Marcus Mathers is also really good. He got a really good high rating in the PWI this year for the top 500 men. I thought it was pretty interesting that he was really far up there compared to a lot of actual WWE main roster people. But I'm putting this up in S tier. I think this could honestly be sneakily one of the best matches that's ever been on Evolve if it's done right. The Tate Wilder part kind of scares me because he doesn't fit the wrestling style of the other two. That could either be really good or really, really bad. So I guess we'll see. Next week, we also have somebody debuting from LFG. I was trying to think on the second place people. It was, Panina, and I forgot the male. Was it Anthony Luke? Did he get second place in season 2? I know he got pretty high up there. Oh, no, it was Shiloh won, and I forgot who he beat, but it looks like we're going to get maybe the second place person. Hasn't worked out for the other two because Jamar Hampton got released and Jin Tala got released. So I don't know. It's like you better win or you're bust right now at this point because we had so many people released off this roster, especially on the Evolve side, that they're like talking about between this and something else happens, 4 new people debuting next week. And honestly, it doesn't sound like a lot because they lost so many other people. So kind of interesting to see this one. I'll put it up in A. I'm interested to know who it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be somebody shocking, but I really hope it's not one of the winners like they had to do with Tyra May Steele. Give them the opportunity on NXT like they're supposed to because that's what it's supposed to be. So it's probably somebody who got second or third. And honestly, I can't think of really anybody on there that could really just come in here and be that person. Because obviously, like Harlem Lewis already got, he's already debuted on this show, so I don't think it's him. I don't know. There's just a lot. Then we had Thea Hale versus Zeta Steele. This is probably Zeta Steele's last match in the organization. She also left the ID program, which is actually very unfortunate. Zeta Steele honestly was like one of my favorites. I remember watching her in Marigold, and then she came to the States, and I've done a bunch of matches and a lot of like independent shows that I watch here and there. She's always kind of has a match on there, and she's entertaining. I think her wrestling is always going to be something that she needs to work on, but I think her promo and everything else that she does is pretty good, and the way that her character just look and all that is great. But Thea Hale is just a firecracker. I always like to see her wrestle. I actually really enjoyed this match. I think it was probably better than the Shawn Legacy and Aegis Nobe. I think I'd put it in A. I think it is better than that, and I probably would put it into B, but I feel like I'm a little bit more generous tonight, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a bump to an A. Plus, I just really liked the match. It had a good flow to it. Wasn't super long, but I really did like what they were doing with it, the story they told. I think everything about it just was pretty solid, so I think A is very serviceable for that match. Then we had Big Jaw and Stevie Turner, who Stevie Turner is also somebody that got released, so all of this Prime Minister stuff is going to have to be changed, and I don't think they're going to have any way to actually write it. Maybe Robert Stone will somehow take over or something. I don't even know. I guess they could maybe work that in. I do think having a GM in this type of thing is a good idea, so it's kind of interesting. But Stevie Turner can actually go wrestle again, so I think she was happy about that at least. So, I mean, at least that part is good about, at least if you're going to get released, that maybe you'll be able to do something that you like more. But she said there's 3 more ID talent that is showing up. I'm not super well versed in all the ID talents. I don't think there's anybody like right off the top of my head I could be like, oh, this person's debuting. So I just kind of completely going blind into it, and I want to see what happens. So I'll put that up in S tier also because it's going to be interesting. Then we get to the main event. It was a 6-man tag match. Honestly, this match really cooked. It had a really good flow to it. It was a decent chunk of time, so sometimes it can be too long. And Kiana Carver getting the pin on Jackson Drake is a good thing. I think Kiana Carver is the right call to go after Jackson Drake's title and possibly dethrone him. I was really surprised that OTM was on here. It makes more sense because they were probably just getting ready to make their current NXT run. They just had one where they broke up the number one contendership match, and then they just beat Hank and Tank the week afterwards. So I think they're going to be NXT people, but like they getting this extra little boost on another show, I think was a good idea. I put this also in an A tier. I do think I like the Figueroa and Zeta Steel match a little bit higher, but overall, I'd probably put this show as a solid A. It worked. I mean, the stuff I didn't like were just kind of like because there were promos that just didn't hit for me, but like they weren't bad. Like the Chantel Monroe stuff was fine. I just like I said, not been digging with her stuff back there. Same thing with like the tag team promo. It's like I'm cool with them getting this done. It's just I feel like at this point we should have had the match, and it doesn't look like we're gonna get the match next week. So that's kind of the problem. At least we have the triple threat that looks really amazing next week. We don't know any other matches, other people just debuting, so I'm assuming we'll have some matches. I do think it's going to be one of those sneakily like 4-match ones. They don't do that often that I absolutely hate. I do kind of feel like they're going to probably try to do that so they can get it done, but yeah, I'm just kind of excited to see what happens. Tell me if you guys are still enjoying the show and what you guys thought about the show, because there was a lot of good, a lot of, okay, but I think overall a pretty decent show. Until next time, it's been Japan. Bye, guys.